Hey everybody, welcome to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. I am John Clark, he's Ike Reese, he is Mike Quick. Happy holidays, happy Dallas week. And there's a lot on the line here. Eagles can clinch the division. They can clinch the top seed. How about 14 wins in the regular season for the first time ever? And they could set a franchise record with 10 straight regular season road wins. That's impressive. But it looks like Gardner Minshew will be the guy against the Cowboys. How does that change things?
I think there are going to be some subtle changes, but the Eagles are the best team in the National Football League in preparing their backup guys when they have to play. That next man up mentality, that's what you'll see on display. I think the biggest thing, though, in the run game, you're not going to see the explosive runs from your quarterback. When you've got Jalen Hurts in the game, it puts fear in the defense's eyes, and he can certainly break off those big runs. And aside from that, I don't think there are a lot of changes in what they're going to do when they go to Dallas.
Yeah, the basic concepts of this offense will primarily stay the same.
Yes.
She was absolutely right. You may have a few less quarterback runs, but the passing game should still remain the same. And a big boost for this offense will be getting Dallas Goedert back in the middle of the field. No one works the hashes in the NFL like Dallas Goedert. And if Dallas is going to play a lot of man-to-man coverage, I like our chances with Goedert versus any of their safeties or linebackers. It's a big plus and a boost to have Dallas Goedert back in the offense.
And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of man-to-man coverage on the outside, and we saw how well that worked for the Eagles in the Chicago game. And take a look at this play. You're going to have A.J. Brown, and you saw this play over and over that they're trying to get the ball to A.J. Brown down the field on the outside. This is A.J. working with the reduced split, man coverage, and on the release, he gets very tight to Jalen Johnson, their best cover corner. And he's got Jalen Johnson following him all day long. He gets on top of him, he stacks him, and this is a perfectly thrown ball. Now, Johnson's in really good coverage. He's got his arm in and he nearly rips the football out, but A.J. Brown is so strong, playing through contact. He makes the play, he gets the ball down the field and nearly scores with that play. They're gonna see a lot of man coverage against the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna have to beat man coverage, and the Eagles can do that.
They've been doing a great job with beating the man coverage. You noticed a couple weeks ago versus the Giants, very similar route that Devontae scored the touchdown on. Jalen does a great job of dropping the ball in there, and both receivers, whether it's AJ or Devontae, they do a great job of showing their hands late and their masters at catching the ball over the shoulder. A lot like Quick used to do back in his day.
You know, the slot fade is a big play in this offense. Or when teams are playing man coverage, just stacking that defender and getting that ball to the outside, well, they've done that really well. Now, it may be Gardner Minshew, but they have to attack the man coverage.
And they will have to watch out for the best defensive player in football, Micah Parsons. You know, the Eagles lead the NFL in sacks. Cowboys are second. They're going to be coming after the Eagles quarterback. So let's get some enemy intel with Greg Cosell, presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers.
This week, the Philadelphia Eagles offense will face the best pass rusher in the National Football League in Micah Parsons. Yes, I said it, the best pass rusher in the National Football League. And Parsons is used in multiple ways by the Cowboys. They understand how good he is and how he can disrupt protections. Now, he rushes from the outside, we know that. But they also move him around, and he can attack any one of your 5 offensive linemen at any time based on the front look the Cowboys give you. We saw that last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's a great example. He's actually the widest defensive lineman here, but because the Cowboys have Jaron Kearse outside of him, what happens here? Who does he attack? He attacks the guard, Brandon Sheriff. By the way, one of the best guards in the league, and he just beats him. This is what Parsons can do. He can win against tackles, he can win against guards. At times they'll line him up inside in the A-gap, and he'll rush against centers. Now, it's not just one-on-one matchups. Obviously, that's what they're always looking for, and that's what they're trying to create. But sometimes they'll do that with their fronts and their rush concept. And here's a great example earlier in the season against the Minnesota Vikings. And Sam Williams is a player to watch here, because Parsons is on the outside, but Williams is just inside of him, kind of in a 3-technique 4-eye alignment. Now, the Vikings are actually going to slide to Williams and Parsons. But what they do here is they actually cross the face, Williams does, crosses the face of the guard, which totally negates the slide. So what does that do? It leaves Parsons one-on-one with the left tackle. And because the guard went inside with Williams, basically Parsons has a two-way go. Here he can go inside, there's no one there, and he sacks Kirk Cousins. So not only can Parsons beat you one-on-one, and he can beat anybody in the league, any offensive lineman, but they also scheme him to create one-on-one matchups. So he is a major challenge. Yes, we know that the Eagles have arguably the best offensive line in football, but Parsons is that good. He can create matchups, the Cowboys create matchups, and he can win. It's a challenge for the Eagles offensive line this week.
Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. Pepsi, Eagles watching, better with Pepsi. PA Lottery, there's a lot of love for the PA Lottery, and when you see how fun it is, you'll understand why.
Hey, I'm moving out. We're on a short week, so today's like Monday. All right, today's like Monday. Get your bodies ready. Get yourself in the training room. Our schedule is Wednesday, or check that, Tuesday will be like a Wednesday. Wednesday, right, will be like a Thursday, and then we'll be a little bit cut. You guys we won't be as much reps, okay? Friday will be a normal Friday. I'll get you guys a schedule ASAP, all right? Hey, one thing real quick. Let's make sure we understand what our motivation is. Let's make sure we understand what our motivation is, and that's everybody in this room. We're in the for each other. Keep connecting, keep growing, keep going together. Together, 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 together.
All right, and remember in that Gardner Minshew game last year against the Jets, Miles Sanders got 24 runs. We could see a lot of Miles Sanders in Dallas. Here is some tape study with Miles, with our own Fran Duffy, presented by Chickies and Peas.
Well, excited to be joined this week for tape study by Eagles running back Miles Sanders. And Miles, before we jump into the film, by every metric, basically every metric, you're having one of your best seasons. What do you attribute that to? What is it that has really kind of made you be so successful so far this season?
You know how I am. I got to give credit to these five guys up front, tight ends too, and Coach Stout, honestly. That's who I give all my credit to because we're so detailed on how we build the run game up, and it goes with the protection too, but we spend a lot of time trying to build a good run game plan, and I know Stout stresses himself out trying to do that too, so, and you know these five guys up front do their thing each and every game, so yeah, I gotta give a lot of credit to them.
You talk about all the variety in the run game and all the different runs you guys have. The first few, it's all different kinds of run concepts. We'll start here, just a basic downhill zone play. What exactly are you doing in this one? Because I love how you're kind of reading the linebacker here for this big play.
This is just a regular inside zone. You see that the line has 5 linemen on the front, so a lot of teams like to do that against us to stop the run, but we have a lot of good game plan to, stop that stuff with the guards and with Kelsey. Really, Kelsey and the two guards really make these plays happen when it's a 5 down front, but my read is simple. I got the front side linebacker. We call this the plumb line, so ball's going this way, so this is the front side. So my read is 23, and, read it, try to square up and make them clear and just go out the other way.
A lot of people talk about patience at the running back position. I know talking with Coach Singleton a few weeks back here in this segment, he talked about, I don't care about patience. I want guys that are going to be decisive through the hole. Right. You press this so fast, force that linebacker to kind of declare before bouncing outside.
Yeah. I kind of knew where I was going to go, but I knew that he was too far inside, so I knew I was just trying to make it seem like I was going to hit that hole and make him declare.
So that one's just a basic downhill zone run, like you said. This one is more of a gap scheme. You get a pulling tackle here on this play, but you do something similar.
Comes down to this block with Lane, and then I'm inside of Lane's block. I got to stay inside phase, and then we ran this play about 50 times, and it hit different ways, but as long as I'm inside of Lane's inside hip, I should be, it makes me right every time. So, and then you got Kelsey doing his thing up here.
So what's it like when you've got Coach Stoutland and those guys, you come into a game plan meeting and just seeing what they came up with in the lab that week?
Yeah, it works out every time, of course they like to sometimes ask, what we like to do, and I like to go downhill. That's my thing. I just like downhill because I like how these guys up here, they just move big bodies around, and This is a simple RPO outside zone run. My read is the end, and then on the line of scrimmage, you see Lane. He has him start. If he has Lane started up like that where he can't move him, then I know my read is hitting inside. So that's my first read, and then I just follow Kelsey.
A lot of fans and media don't, they think, oh, find the hole. But all these different run concepts, your read is different,
Yeah,
right?
there's a read. Every read is different, and I have a landmark, and yeah, it's all just reading it out. So I know people be wanting me to go certain places, but that's not my read.
Well, that's what's fun is that, watching all these different kind of run plays, and this one here is a wham play against Houston, and some of these where you have to really read it out, and some are one read and go, like these quick hitters like this one.
Yeah, this is, we want to trap the three tech, which is this guy right here. So you okey doke him, and then you got the tight end, you got Dallas, which is a great blocking tight end, and he seals that in a wide open hole.
How big are your eyes at this point where you're like, all right, like you have all of I-95, you got a 6-lane highway going your way?
It gets super big, but you gotta, just try to, I don't know, you try to not get too heavy because stuff like this can happen. It's like, oh, dang, I thought I was gonna be gone. But, you gotta remember that these guys get paid too, so.
Well, I mean, you still picked up an extra 10 after the safety came down. So let me ask you this, because when you have a play like that where it can be a quick hitter and you're gonna go shot out of a cannon, sometimes it's clean, like that one here against Houston. Sometimes though, you're meeting contact at the line of scrimmage. Do you always have to just kind of keep your spidey senses about you and say like, all right, I can feel contact at any point?
Oh yeah, because the other thing that makes running backs good is breaking tackles. So
sure.
But that main block, go back.
Yeah.
That main block with 11 right here, I'm not scoring unless he's doing what he's doing. He's doing a heck of a job blocking, I would say.
You've mentioned Dallas Goedert. You've mentioned A.J. Brown. We know Devontae Smith, the touchdown against the Jaguars. He's out in front. What's it like having other guys that, quote unquote, skill position players that are so active in the run game?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's bought in, and, everybody knows the plan of the play, and everybody just executes it because we, at the end of the day, when we want to drop back and throw the ball, we got to do our thing too, just so they can get the ball too.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, bro, you only get so many of these opportunities. With this group, it's a special group. Got ourselves a dog fight, boy. Damn! Got ourselves a dog fight, baby. Here we go. It felt like it was warming up a little bit. And then we went inside, came back out, and it feels worse. I was completely lying when I said it was getting warmer out here. Yeah! Let's go! Good, buddy. Good work. Good game. Love you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys.
All right, the Cowboys are going to be missing their leading tackler, Leighton Vander Esch, but the Birds have their leading tackler, TJ Edwards. And a great stat. Eagles lead the NFL in sacks, but on third down, they lead the league by a wide margin. 30 sacks on third down. The Patriots are the next closest with 21. But it's not each individual player just getting credit for those sacks, right?
No, it really isn't. You need all 11 guys. And the Eagles have done a great job of being able to attack the opposing team's offenses, particularly on third down. You watch here down in the red zone. Here's a great example of this. At the snap of the ball, Marcus Epps probably leaves the spot right here on Justin Fields. Then I'm also noticing that you got a little bit of a screen play going here. Great job by Javon Hargrave. Kazir White getting to the outside. He's responsible for David Montgomery on this play here. It forces Justin Fields to hold the ball for one tick longer, which allows for Haason Reddick to get around the right tackle here and get one of his 2 sacks on the day. A complete team effort by the defense here. Everybody doing their jobs on this play. It shows you how when everyone does their job, it allows for other guys to have success. Haason Reddick, as great as he's been, he'll tell you he needs those other 10 guys to do their part as well.
And how about the Eagles defense? Think about this. They're giving up 172 passing yards a game, by far best in the NFL. Yep. But they're going to have to deal with a receiver who has the most explosive plays on third down in the NFL this year. Here is enemy intel on CeeDee Lamb. Here's Greg Cosell, presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers.
There is no question that the foundation of the Cowboys' passing game is CeeDee Lamb. He's the best receiver on the team. He's the most targeted. He lines up both outside and in the slot. And when you put on the tape of the Cowboys' offense from this season, one thing really stands out. He is in motion an awful lot. and different kinds of motion. But we want to focus on one particular kind of motion, and that's when he motions across the formation. And when you motion across the formation, oftentimes the defense has to respond to that. Not every time, but times that they do. And I want to start with a play from a number of weeks ago against the Chicago Bears, because you're going to see him now initially lined up on the right side of the formation with the defense in what appears to be a split safety look. But there's a little bit of confusion in the secondary, and you see Lamb will run a vertical seam and no one will be there. So here's where that motion causes a problem in coverage. And this is a vertical route and a touchdown from Prescott to Lamb. Now, not every play will be a big play and not every play will look this easy. But what they do really well, short yardage, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Here will be another example of Lamb going in motion across the formation. This will be against Indianapolis. This is 3rd and 2. All they're trying to do here is get a little rub element, get a first down. But what is one of the strengths of CeeDee Lamb? Run after catch. So he catches a short pass and turns it into a bigger gain. Let's go to one more example. Again, it's motion across the formation. This will be against the Houston Texans. But this time, instead of breaking out, he will break inside on a shallow cross. He will clear traffic. He will be by himself. He will catch the ball. Again, run after catch. So you have to have a plan based on where Lamb starts and where he will finish. That will be one of the main challenges for the Eagles defense. They cannot allow CeeDee Lamb to go 7 for 125. That would not work out well for the Eagles.
Cowboys have a good passing attack, and how about that running game? They lead the NFL with 132 rushing yards per game out of running backs. So the best running back rushing attack. What makes them so good?
They finally committed to it. I mean, Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott, they figured out the roles for both players on the team. It's clearly a 50-50 set back there with Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. Tony Pollard obviously is your explosive player. They want to get him on the outside. They'll even use him in the passing game, motion him out of the backfield. They have no problem with having both backs on the field at the same time. We know Zeke, he's going to run in between the tackles. He is still a tough runner. When you get down by the goal line, he's the guy they want to get the ball to. And probably his most important asset to this Cowboy offense is his ability to help pass protect. So if you're going to bring extra pressure, you're going to bring guys back there, expect 21 to be in there. And he's a pretty good pass blocker. So I think that's why their offense has started to have some sort of identity. Is they committed to the run game, and they got two running backs, a young one that's very explosive, and they got Zeke back there who's Mr. Reliable when they get down to the red zone. They want to give him the football.
Welcome back to Eagles Game Plan presented by Toyota. Here's a great question for you guys. The Eagles are close to becoming the first NFL team ever with 4 different players having 10 or more sacks in a season. That's amazing. They bring it from everywhere. Micah Parsons, he has the 5th most sacks over the last 2 years in the NFL. Would you rather have that elite talent? Or would you rather have the collection of talent?
Well, I think we would probably all agree you want the collection of talent, right?
Sure.
I mean, the fact that you have a great player, Micah Parsons, over there, that's an individual. But when you have the ability to roll out 4 or 5 guys that can get you double-digit sacks in a year, that's going to make the entire defense that much better.
You have to go back to my old teammates, Clyde Simmons, Reggie White, Jerome Brown, that kind of crew, before you have this many guys on the same defense that are able to affect the quarterback, get sacks the way these guys get sacks. It's so much fun to watch because you don't know where it's going to come from, but Josh Sweat is playing so well right now. And when you got Josh Sweat and when you got Haason Reddick coming off the edge, you got a problem if you're the quarterback.
Yeah, and they've been so impressive. First time in team history, they're coming off 3 straight games of 6 or more sacks. Let's see if they can do it again on the road. This will be the first time in Eagles history they are 8-0 undefeated on the road if they win in Dallas. Thanks for watching Eagles Game Plan, presented by Toyota. Eagles Game Plan is brought to you by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, proud automotive partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy. Pepsi, Eagles watching, better with Pepsi. PA Lottery, there's a lot of love for the PA Lottery, and when you see how fun it is, you'll understand why.